Hey guys, Ben Pearson, the Roadster Tracker, and a couple of days ago, as I'm recording this, we saw the launch of Super Heavy and Starship for the first time. This is a day that I've been looking forward to quite a bit. However, there were quite a few issues around the launch, to say the least. The biggest thing is it completely destroyed the launch pad. Anything concrete there was blown. The steel bits actually survived relatively well, but the concrete bits did not. So it was a bad day for stage 0. But Super Heavy itself was able to lift off. It seemed to function relatively well until it got to about the time to separate. There were a number of engines that had failed, and so it was probably struggling to keep up at the appropriate speed. I think Super Heavy should actually touch space at separation, and it only made it about 30 something kilometers, 20-ish miles, something like that. And as a result, well, yeah, it ended up having a self-destruct. The flight termination system was activated, eventually ending up in the rocket blowing up. So it was a bad day, but a lot of things were learned. We're starting to get some news. Elon has stated that they knew that there were issues going in with the concrete. They had hoped that it would erode the pad, but not destroy it completely. And they thought it would be good enough for one launch at least, so they could gather some data. Turns out that was a bad assumption. They have a liquid cooled, really water cooled steel system that they already have in place to help them to divert this energy, to absorb it, and hopefully that system will allow it to work better in the future. They didn't catch this because the static fire did not reveal any issues. Now, the static fire was only down at 50%, but while they had a little bit of damage there, the damage was actually to the metal parts, not to the concrete parts. So something happened with this test that was different than the static fire. The static fire, only being at 50% thrust, may well have kept it below the threshold where any damage could actually occur. It's hard to really say without knowing exactly what happened. Elon's claiming 1 to 2 months. Of course, Elon claimed that 1 to 2 months would be the time when Starship and Super Heavy would launch for the last 2 years. So take it worth a grain of salt. But the fact that they already kind of knew that there was an issue and that they already have started working on the solution is a pretty good indicator that it may not be as bad as I had initially feared. I was initially thinking it was going to be optimistic to launch again at the end of this year. Maybe they can do 6 months at this point in time. Who really knows? But it was an exciting launch. Excitement delivered, as they had. Their tagline was, excitement guaranteed once the fire started going, and that was certainly the case. They managed to not completely destroy the launch pad. There's a lot of damage. The tanks are not looking so great. The concrete obviously went all over the place, caused all kinds of damage. There was dust that was seen very far away, as far as Boca Chica, or not Boca Chica, La Padre. And it was not a great day in a lot of ways, but they learned something and they will go forward. And while some of this data may be suspect, they may not get everything that they wanted out of it, one can hope that they will learn much, and it should be good overall. In the end, hopefully they can get things to work better. They already have a number of Starship and Super Heavies ready to go for the future testing. They're already going into this kind of suspect of what may happen with it. But my take is on this that the static fire didn't reveal any issues, and they just decided to go ahead and test it. And when they tested, I think they were extremely surprised. You would have thought that it could have survived it. Of course, then again, it is the world's most powerful rocket engine that they had lit. And when all of that force is pointing down, you don't have a flame diverter of any kind. The water suppression system was pretty limited. Not really a huge surprise that it had some issues. Anyways, spectacular job to SpaceX in making progress, and hopefully you guys can get all of your stuff figured out here for the future. Thank you guys so much for everything. Let me know whatever questions or comments you guys have. Until next time, keep on tracking. Take care, guys. We'll see you then.